Today, more and more people are becoming open to identifying as non-binary and/or non-conforming. It's a topic that gets a lot of people riled up, but also allows for the liberation of so many others. I, however, am not an expert, so I invited my good friend Luna, who knows what they're actually talking about.
What's up, beautiful people? My name is Luna, and I identify as non-binary and Mexican American. Some of you may be wondering, what does non-binary and non-conforming mean? So I invited some of my friends to talk about it. I identify as non-binary trans femme. Non-binary is essentially neither male or female, neither man or woman, beyond the binary meaning two choices. Trans feminine means that I was assigned male at birth and I'm transitioning to a feminine gender.
Hi everyone, my name is Niko. I go by they and she pronouns, and my dad is from Puerto Rico. I identify as a designated female at birth, shape-shifting girl, probably. And for me, that identity falls under non-binary because it's not exclusively female or male.
Hi, my name is Camilo Gonzalez Garcia, and I am from Cuba. I identify as two-spirit and non-binary.
My name is Joey Flamboyant because my name is Joey and I'm really flamboyant. My family's from El Salvador and Mexico. I identify as non-binary, gender fluid, all of the above.
My name's Karis Wild. My family was born in Tecate, Baja California. I identify as a man, a woman, non-binary, genderqueer. It's kind of all applies to me.
I think it's super important to ask other people's pronouns because you really just don't know. I think there's the assumption that like girl, boy, or non-binary has a certain look, but there really isn't. So you really have to ask and able to know.
The more we can ask, the more the culture will shift. And so it's more normal, just like how we ask people what their nicknames are.
Pronouns are important because it's how we interact with each other and it's how I can describe someone to someone else. We use them every single day, so why not use ones that fit, you know?
Not everyone has the same pronoun. Everyone is different and comes from a different walk of life.
I think pronouns are important because they help people be seen and it makes them feel like they're in their body when people actually respect them.
First things we notice about somebody is their perceived gender. So when we talk to somebody, I'm saying I see you or I don't see you at all. And to walk through the world never being seen is like the worst nightmare. And so for me, gendering somebody correctly is saying I see you and I value you as who you are saying that you are.
The reason why some people may be less flexible about their pronouns is because that's very important to their transition. The reason why I'm more flexible is because I am coming from patience. I understand that I have to inform people and educate people about non-binary and non-conforming identities.
I used to get mad when people didn't get my pronouns correctly. And I think now at this point in my journey, I'm a lot more easygoing about it just because I feel like I know who I am and I understand that my proximity to cisness changes on a day-to-day basis depending on how I express myself. So if I'm being perceived as a cis man or a cis woman, that's access to safety. Depending on the moment, I'm a little bit more concerned about like the violence against trans women of color or homeless youth. So for me, pronouns are taking a little bit of a backseat right now in terms of my energy, but it just really depends on where a person's at.
The difference between non-binary and non-conforming is non-binary is a gender identity where someone may feel that they are neither male or female, neither man or woman. Non-conforming means your gender expression doesn't meet the typical standards of what is defined as masculine and feminine.
I think in our desire to create spaces for ourselves that really cement our identities and validate ourselves, we are forcing ourselves into boxes that don't really need to be there.
Stop trying to put people in boxes, period.
How I described it to my 5-year-old sister when I came out to her was just like how there is man, there is woman, there is another circle that hasn't been filled in yet, that doesn't have a name, and that's me.
Think of gender as colors. It's like if you're mixing yellow and blue and make green. The more you use, the more you can blend and you can create new creations.
I'm like you and your friend over there. Put in one.
They are so accepting. It's only when they're older that they turn into
I love the word Latinx because it is a homage to the culture and history we've had that's been kind of pushed to the margins. With Latinx, we're able to honor all of the people that have been on the forefront of our history and as well as on the back, and all of the people who've non-conformed in our world and our society, and it reclaims that history.
I find so much power in the word Latinx because I am not just Latino or Latina, I am Latinx.
I much prefer the E at the end, Latine, you know, instead of ella or él. I think it's much more accessible, especially to our mothers and our fathers and our grandfathers who hear this X thing and they're like, what the hell is that? You know what I mean?
I don't think it's impossible to find neutral pronouns in Spanish. To every will, there's a way.
Well, surprisingly enough, my family's actually been really accepting even though they are pretty religious.
My family was not the most supportive family when I came out, and it was really, really hard for me. And as somebody who is really choosing to love themselves, I choose to put up really strong boundaries with my biological family and really just celebrate myself from a distance.
I don't think my family has a lot of trouble with the way that I am because they saw me grow up. Sometimes they don't have the language for it, but they know who I am and they know my heart, and that's all that matters. Obviously, if I was transitioning fully, I would want them to consider my wishes of being a full she, but when you're so in the middle, I don't mind it. And I'm only speaking for myself.
My family did have difficulty using the word they, them for me because they're like, I feel like I'm talking about more than one person because I am more than just one pronoun.
Like to this day, really the only people that like really get it are like my younger sibling who's 8 and my grandma who, bless her heart, like immediately just started calling me what I wanted to be called and using, the pronouns that I wanted to be used. But the transition was very difficult on my family.
I want cis people to know that we exist, that we're here, we're your friends, we're your family, we're your coworkers. Maybe we just haven't come out to you yet, but it's because we're a little anxious and afraid.
I want cis people to know y'all created cisness. I want cis people to know gender has evolved over time, and I want cis people to know when they engage in ridiculous transphobic conversation that you're engaging in a culture where over 40% of homeless youth in America are queer or trans. And those are usually because they're kicked out from their families' homes. You're creating a culture when you speak. So speak as if you care about people.
Non-binary genders have existed since the dawn of time. Indigenous people of all cultures have had ideas outside of the traditional like male and female gender role that were celebrated. Tainos, my people, our two-spirit folks were like medicine people and healers and like amazing, wonderful people that were helpful. All this like, back in my day, we had 2 genders. Like no, like before colonization, there was like 30. So like, cool it, Steve.
I wish that cis people would understand that it's not a trend. Non-binary people have been here for as long as cis people have been here. We just now have words to put to that.
I hear this all the time. People think that like they, them pronouns are grammatically incorrect. When someone's walking down a street, hoodie on, you don't see their gender, and you're trying to say to your friend like, oh hey, that person has a cute sweater. You're not gonna say, he or she has a cute sweater. You're gonna be like, hey, that person over there, they have a cute sweater. We use they, them in first person all the time. It's not just when talking about a group of people, it's not just when talking about more than one person. Like we use it in a singular tense like all the time without even realizing. So it's not even as harsh of a transition as people say it is. It's definitely not grammatically incorrect.
I don't know why people have a problem with adding new words. If we can add muggle to the dictionary, then we can add Latinx, we can say they, them pronouns. Language is not set in stone.
I think that as a non-binary person, it is so fun and awesome because I get to explore who I am truly. I think that people are just accepting what is given to them and like they're put into a binary and they accept it. I get to deconstruct that on a daily basis. I get to be confused on a daily basis. So I think that it is super awesome that I get to have the opportunity to figure it out, where I don't think that a lot of people really get that opportunity. So I feel really just blessed to be non-binary.
I love dressing up and going to galas, or I like going camping and just being rugged, and it's all very fitting to who I am.
The fun part of being non-binary for me is thinking of what I can do better this time as far as my look. And no matter where I go, people are either in awe or they're taking pictures, and sometimes it's not always with consent, but I know that at the end of the day, they're always gagging and I always bring it.
I mean, you can look like this when you're non-binary, like come on.
It's not only okay to be non-binary, it's awesome to be non-binary. You're awesome just the way that you are. Definitely build a support system and find the people who are gonna support you because it might go really, really awesome.
I would say find your family, find your friends, find people who are like you and learn.
You are valid, your feelings are valid, and whatever you're going through is valid.
One of the joys of being non-binary for me is not putting rules on myself. And what's the rush in trying to figure it out right now or put that label on yourself? If it feels good, do it.
It's honestly so much better and it feels so relieving. That band-aid's just ripped right off.
At the end of the day, non-binary people and non-conforming people are just that, people. We deserve to be loved, respected, and seen. We've been here and we aren't going anywhere. And the future is fluid. Adios, mis papitas fritas.
Let me show you. Adios, mis papitas fritas.
Okay. Adios, mis papitas fritas.
Awesome! Beautiful! Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, wait, hold on.
So we can like give or take. Basically, right?
1 second.
I'm gonna put this in the video.
All right.